One of the most confusing moments in dating is when you start wondering, wait, does she actually like me? Or am I the only one putting in effort here? Because on the surface, everything seems fine. You text her, she replies. You make plans, she agrees. You talk regularly. But something about the interaction still feels a little unclear. And that's where things get confusing. Because sometimes mixed signals means she's unsure. But other times, it simply means she enjoys being pursued. So in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 signs that gives you hints that a lady might want you to chase her. And one important truth about this dynamic that many people don't realize. Sign number 1. She teases you a lot. One thing you might notice early is that she loves to tease you. Not in a mean way, but in that playful way where she's joking about you. Maybe she calls you annoying. Maybe she laughs about something small you just did. Maybe she says something like, "Are you always like this?" Now here's the interesting thing. Teasing is one of the easiest ways people flirt without fully admitting they are flirting. It creates a playful atmosphere. It keeps the conversation interesting. And it also allows someone to show interest without becoming too obvious about it. You usually notice a few signs when it's playful teasing. She's smiling, she's laughing, she maintains eye contact. Sometimes she might even lightly touch your arm while joking with you. At that point, the teasing isn't criticism, it's actually a way of building attraction. But teasing usually isn't the only signal. Another thing often happens when someone enjoys your attention. That's where sign number 2 comes in. Sign number 2, she notices quickly when your attention disappears. Imagine this situation. You were too busy during the day. Maybe you were working. Maybe you're out with friends. Maybe you just didn't check your phone for a whole day. Then later, you finally responded to her message and she says something like this. "Wow, you just threw me one side, Abby. What took you so long?" Now, she might say it jokingly, but the interesting part is that she noticed your absence immediately. And usually, people only notice your absence when your attention matters to them a whole lot. So when your attention disappears, she reacts. Not necessarily because she's angry, but because she understands the chemistry and she's aware of the chemistry between the both of you. Sometimes it's a small way of saying, "I noticed you weren't around." And when someone enjoys being chased, your attention becomes part of the interaction they look forward to. But sometimes the signal goes a little further than that. Sign number 3, she casually gists you about other men. This one can be subtle. You might be talking to her normally, then she casually mentions something like, "Someone asked me out today," or "A guy at my workplace is trying to talk to me." Sometimes she might even mention an ex who was very interested in her and you are aware of that person. Now, when this happens, many people immediately feel a little competitive. You start thinking, wait, are there other guys in the picture? And that reaction is very common because mentioning another attention can sometimes create a sense of value. It's almost like she's saying, "Just know, say no, but only you did the picture." Now, this doesn't always mean she's trying to manipulate you. Sometimes it simply comes from insecurity and also validation. But either ways, it can create a situation where you feel motivated to show more interest. And that leads to another very common dating pattern. Sign number 4. This one can really confuse people. One day, everything seems very smooth. She replies your message quickly. She laughs at your jokes. The conversation flows naturally. Then suddenly, the energy changes. Her response goes slow. She becomes a little distant. You start wondering if something happened. But just when you begin to lose interest, Auntie comes back again with full force. She picks up the conversation. The energy returns back. and everything feels normal again. This pattern is often called the push and pull pattern. One moment there's closeness, the next moment until I've jackpot. And that uncertainty can make someone think about the connection even more. Because when things aren't completely clear, the mind starts trying to figure it out. But the final sign is probably the most confusing one. Sign number 5. She keeps the connection going, but never fully clarifies things you still talk regularly about. She still responds to your messages, she still spends time with you, but somehow the situation never becomes balanced or clearly defined. You are not exactly sure where you stand. There's interest, there's interaction, but there's always just a little bit of mystery. And sometimes that mystery encourages people to push harder. Because when something feels slightly out of reach, people naturally try to move closer. But here's something very important to understand. Not every confusing situation means someone wants to be chased. Sometimes they are just not sure about their feelings, and other times they might just enjoy your attention. They are still figuring out things themselves, which is why you should always pay attention to the overall pattern. A lot of dating advice talks about the idea of pursuit. And to be fair, a little bit of pursuit can make attraction exciting. But constantly chasing someone who enjoys playing games can slowly damage your confidence. You start feeling like you always have to prove yourself. You start wondering whether you're doing something wrong. And healthy interaction usually doesn't feel that way. Healthy interaction tends to feel mutual. Both people show interest. They make efforts. Both of them move towards each other, not just one person doing all the chasing. Because real connection isn't about winning someone over. It's about two people choosing each other. Dating can be confusing sometimes. Someone might tease you. They might notice you quickly when your attention disappears. They might even create a little jealousy now and then. And sometimes those behaviors mean they enjoy the idea of being pursued. But the most important thing to pay attention to isn't the game. It's the pattern. Do they respect you? Do they show genuine interest? Do they treat you with honesty and consistency? Because attraction can involve a little mystery, but a healthy connection should never leave you constantly questioning your value. Now, I'm curious about your experience. Have you ever dated someone who kept giving mixed signals? Like they wanted you to choose them, but never made things completely clear? At what point did you realize what was actually going on? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy conversations about relationships, psychology, and dating dynamics, make sure you like this video and subscribe if you've not done that, so you don't miss the next one. I am Works Brown. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.